Hi, everyone. I am Cindy Barron, and I am sitting in for Eric Rhodes while he is doing an amazing, memorable trip right now. And I'm sure he will fill you in on everything. But I'm grateful to be doing this. But today I want to tell you about Nanci France-Vaz. Sorry, I talk a little slow so I don't jumble my words here. But anyway, she is phenomenal. I can't wait for you to meet her. She's uh, talented, multi-talented. She does landscapes. She does it all. She has a great story. She paints. It's very romantic. It's very meaningful. So you're going to enjoy this one, and I hope you tune in. And she's also on Realism Live faculty. So you're going to have fun with this one. So.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my studio.
Hey, Nancy.
Today I'll be painting pattern on my friend Pam McCoy's outfit. I started this painting a while back and I had to put it to the side. So I kind of pre-mixed a lot of colors on my palette right here, if you can see that. And I'll explain as I go. So there's two types of methods that I use. One would be to block the pattern in if it's a simple pattern without a lot of detail. Now this has a lot of detail. When it's not a lot of detail and it's a repetitive pattern, that's a little easier because it keeps repeating itself. That said, it may not be easy because if you make a mistake, people can notice that, where even though this is more detailed, it has some repeat, but it's more loose and it kind of has a flow to it where you can make some things up if you need to alter it so that it looks better or it has more movement to it. So I'm staying true to what my print is, and I am working site size. I always work site size because for me it's quicker. I don't like working from an iPad because the screen glare just gets to me. But whatever way works for you, that's the way you work. So before we get started, what I would like to mention is tomorrow is the opening of my solo exhibit at Dasha Gallery. It opened today, but tomorrow's the reception from 6 to 9 p.m. It's called Bohemian Spirits. And like what Pam looks like, that's what you're going to see mostly are Bohemian Spirits, people from the 70s or that have that free-spirited artistic background. That's the message in it. Imagine all the people. It's also in Fine Art Connoisseur magazine issue this month. Just look at exhibits and you'll see that and read the story behind all of that. And then in March, I'll be doing actually a show with Pam in it, and that's called Divinity Day, which means to become. And they are all women musicians. I will have other work in there, about 25 paintings at the Pollock Theater in Monmouth University. And it's to raise money. We decided, the director and I, her name's Juan Peck, we decided to do a scholarship fund for women artists of any art form, whether you're an actress, a dancer, a painter, a musician, so that they have money to learn their craft. I know I owed out $55,000 when I got out of School of Visual Arts. So this is like a passion of mine to give back what the universe has given me. So I hope you stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let me get started.
Let me say that is fantastic news, and I wish I was there. Right, I would go to your show. Your work is beautiful. So, and I'm anxious to see what you're going to do. But congratulations on all that. That's phenomenal.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Cindy. So here's the two methods that I'm going to be showing. Actually, I have a drawing, a light drawing. A lot of times, if it's a simple pattern, I'll do a little study of it. And if it's simple blocked in shapes, I'll do it like that and then free form it. But what I do here is two different ways. If it's something that's more complicated, I will do it section by section. Things like putting the pieces to a puzzle together. You won't get lost that way if you do it that way. However, if you get a little impetuous like I do, and you want to just put the paint on quick, that might not be the method for you. But the pattern and the movement of the clothing that you're painting will determine which way is going to work for that. And Ang actually would paint like the average of the whole outfit. So in this instance, like say her jacket is all green, you could paint everything green, this color and value, and then map in the green like a stripe. It almost looks like a stripe. So you say to yourself, what shape is it? Which angle? What's the scale? What's the perspective? And how am I going to attack that? You could do it that way. The other way you could do it, the other way I like to do it, is to make a ghost of it. What do I mean by that? I'll map everything in the green because that is the dominant color here, and it's a middle color. It's not too dark, it's not too light. I'll map it in, and I'll use like a little medium so that it stays almost like a glaze, and then you can see where your drawing is underneath if you did an oil transfer of your drawing, which I did in this, just to save time, but it's also complicated. So I will do an oil transfer. If it's simpler and smaller, I do not. I do it from scratch. I can do it both ways. It doesn't matter, but whatever way you find easiest for you, I would recommend that. People are very intimidated by patterns, tattoos, and stuff, but don't think of it that way. Think of it in a positive way of course I can do that because I can draw and I can do color and value. So I'm going to get started.
That's great info that you just.
You have to stay in a positive state of mind. You can't say, oh my God, it's so hard. It's all hard. Doesn't matter. It's all hard. Just give it a try, right? So I have a bunch of brushes here, and what I'm going to do is show you what I mean about ghosting the image. So what I like to cover is right here, a section, this section here into maybe a piece here if I get to it. I probably will though. I'm going to dip my brush, and I have a rosemary brush. It's a sable. Why am I using a sable? So I don't make marks on it. It's already toned with raw umber. So here I go. Wish me luck, everybody.
Oh, you can do it.
All right, let's. Now keep in mind that I did piece by piece. Now I'm not. I'm taking a chance here. And this was painted, I want to say about a year ago. So I'm guessing with the value and the color, but I think I can get it. So no big deal. Let's get a little blue in this. Looks like it has a little bit more blue in it. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And as you're going, if it doesn't match, you say, do I need, if it's a green, is it a warm green? Is it a cool green? Is it a middle value? Is it a light value? Is it a dark value? So I'm going to paint over my drawing. This section here. And now some of these greens are warmer and cooler. It's okay. Stay in the middle. I work from middle out. I don't work light, dark. I work from dark to light, but when I map anything in, even like a head, I really go for the middle. Because if you go for the middle, you can see how dark and how light you make that. Also, I work on a great palette by New Wave Art, the Posh palette, the Gray Posh palette, glass palette, because I can see how much chroma, how neutral, middle gray, how dark, how light, how intense a hue is. So here I am.
So do you make most of your greens? I'm looking at your palette. Do you have greens on your palette, or do you make most of
it? Yeah. Yeah. Can I turn the camera down here for a minute?
Because greens are hard.
Here's my palette, you guys. So notice I have all these greens mixed. My palette goes from white to raw umber. Sometimes I have some throw-in colors. It depends on the painting. But
Right.
basically, to mix this green, I took Cinnabar Green Medium by
Okay.
Rembrandt with a little Viridian, and I upped it with yellow ochre. If I don't have to add white, I won't unless I need to. It keeps the color rich. So all these greens are that. Transparent oxide red is the color I use to knock it down and keep it warm. If I need to cool it down, I'll take cobalt blue or ultramarine blue, which will knock it down a lot.
Right.
So I usually will opt to go cobalt blue because it's more transparent. But here's an array of color that's in the ballpark, and then I adjust it as I go. I just, do that. This is to save time, because when you're doing a pattern like this, you better pre-mix your color. You can't just dip it in and hope you're going to get it if you're on a deadline.
Right.
And on a deadline. If you're not on a deadline, do it the way that you like to do it. Let me move the camera in. You can see that, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. So I could still see my drawing underneath. I'll probably need my readers after this one.
So it's very transparent at this point.
Yes, that's why I put the medium, because the medium, which is Chelsea Classical Studio Medium, lean medium, will get me there. And now I could see some of my drawing. Now, I have some guidelines here from the former pattern, so I don't really need that. So now I have my color. That color looks pretty good. I spoke aside, the value looks pretty good, not bad. I think I remembered good from last year. Oh, good memory. Okay, so I'm going to stay with that. And now I'm going to go in and let's see, I'm going to get this dark green in first. And then there's that leopard thing that I hate. That's all right, the little dots. And then we have a little bit of a pattern here. All right, let's get my glasses. Now, sometimes what you can use in certain situations, let's say for a jewelry or any of this element here, where it looks like it's raised up. I have this tool. It looks like
Okay.
right?
Right.
And I can draw with it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, if I need something that looks like a thread, this is great. And I do have that, like right here. I can actually subtract the paint. Think like an underpainting, right? You're subtracting paint. And now I've got a drawing there. And I could go back in and make my little dots. But a lot of times I find with this thing, I don't need to do that. So now I know where I am here, how far the border is to come. And then I also have right here the same thing. There's threads right here. So I'm actually, before I start painting this, I want to see where I'm going. And I could see some of the drawing underneath, but not really. I'm going to eyeball it. All right, let's get a...
That was an interesting tool. I'm quite sure people will be interested about that.
Yeah, I can, I forget what the name of it is, but it's a stylus, right?
Okay.
Stylus, and they come in all different sizes. Okay, so let's go in with the darker green. Hopefully I got the right color here. I'm going to get my mahl stick, because I'm going to keep my hands steady here. And there we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. So this green has some sparkle in it. I'm gonna get... I don't like rounds. To do these things, I love flats because they get the job done quick and they keep the lines straight. I'm not in the way, am I? Am I good?
Oh gosh, no, we can still see you.
Okay, great. Just double checking. So right here, I have a little bit of this circle here. I'm going to make that happen. I have these blue.
Okay, so somebody asked me a question. So the name of the tool was called a stylus, correct?
Stylus. Yep.
I knew viewers would be interested in this. And can you get it at any art store or?
Yeah. You can get it at Amazon, any art store. The other one that people might be interested in, there was a painting I did that was a sweater, and people went, "Oh my God, how did you do that?" I said, "I didn't have any drawing. I used a wipeout tool." Whoop.
Yes, I love those. I use those a lot. I love those.
Yeah, you can pick out, like, say here where it's lighter, the paint is lighter. I can pick out where the shiny spots are, and I
Right.
can draw with it. Say you get too dark, you can wipe it out with the wipeout too. So there is no rule for the set way of doing it, right? That's the way I always like to think of it. I need another brush. I go through a lot of brushes. If you guys saw my brush holder here, you would really laugh because I usually have like about 30 to 35 brushes I use.
Oh my gosh, it's like you can never have too many shoes. I can never have too many brushes.
Many brushes, right? That's true. Okay, where was I? So a lot of times you have to really pay attention. Gotta get some medium. This is last year because you can go off. I've done that where I said, "Oh, damn." If it's a repetitive pattern, you won't go off as much as something like this,
Right.
where you can kind of fudge a little. So this gets a little warmer, and I just wipe off my brush, and I'm just going to connect and go here. And I'm looking here so I can find my way. It's like a labyrinth when you do a pattern. So up here, I want to come down to here so that I could now connect this. So this is dark, and then it gets light. So you have to adjust your brain and make sure you have. I have my Sharp towel clamped to my palette so that I have a really good flow. I have my medium cup taped to my palette because I can work fast. I hate slow. I like to work quick. Okay, so this
So
is.
are you working on a fairly smooth surface,
Yeah,
canvas?
I'm
Or
one of those people. I use lead prime linen.
okay.
And Raymar, Emily, I asked her if she had any lead prime linen. She said, yeah. I said, is it from Angel de la Cruz? He's a guy that I've been using his linen. People that know me, they know I love his linen. This one is very, very smooth. The one that Emily has is one that I call the number 2. This one's the number 3. The number 2 has just slight more tooth. It's like Fredericks Ricks. I used to use Fredericks Ricks way back, like when I was first starting out, like in 2007. So that has a little bit more grab to it. This one is a little bit smoother. I like to glide my paint. I am not one of these, let me have a dry canvas and, so I've been using Raymar. I like 64C. If I don't have the lead prime, I'm using that. For years I'm using Raymar panels. I do use artifacts as well. Anton turned me on to this smooth linen, and when I need a bigger panel with the honeycomb so that I don't have to brace the back, I will use artifacts as well. They're both good, but I lean more towards Raymar because I don't paint 5-foot paintings. But I do have artifacts on hand, like 30 by 40s and that, but I always go for the linen that's lead primed and smooth. Reason being is lead is more refractive. The color looks cleaner. It's not like and it doesn't sink as much. Now all paint
Okay, the
sink.
viewers probably were very interested in what you just said. That was good info.
What, the sinking in?
Yes, and the lead prime.
Yeah, the lead will always, like, see how easy the paint is going on? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to fight with it. And if I need to do a pattern, like say right here, right? Here I go. There I am. Good. Got it in. I just want to get the canvas covered. If I have to alter the drawing a little bit or the shapes later on, that's okay. But I like being in the ballpark. Right now I'm using a rosemary comber, a flat. I love these and the flat eclipse because the paint just goes on very easily. The noise you're hearing in the background, if you do hear it, is my washing machine.
Don't hear anything.
Oh, okay, good. I hear it shake right beneath me. Okay, that's there. Okay, so here I made this mark here so I could, with the stylus, so I can find myself. So this is here, that's there. Now I'm going to go in with a better brush. I'm going to get a round. Let's see if this works. This is like
Beside your, beside your canvas, I also saw a sketch pad. So do you do that also? Just sketch?
Oh yeah. Before we go on break, I'll take a quick 3 minutes if we have, and I use a couple of sketchbooks. Do you know how many sketchbooks I have?
Oh, I know. I've got bins of them, and later on in life, my kids are probably going to go look at these books, and I have bins of them. It's great. You can never have enough sketch pads and
No.
brushes. So far.
Well, you know what's really funny about my sketch pad? You're gonna laugh when I tell you this, but I have so many sketch pads, especially when I was starting out with the paper from like the 90s when I was going to school, 2000 up to 2012. And they have like 3 or 4 pages of drawings, but I thought that they didn't look perfect enough. So then I bought another sketchbook thinking, oh, maybe it's the paper. I'm going to get another sketchbook. So I have a stack of sketchbooks with only a few pages of each. Now I got to make a scrapbook.
No, I travel. I mean, I've always got one in a purse or in my backpack or in the car. I always have one because you never know when ideas pop in your head, and
Oh, yeah.
you got to at least write them down or draw. So,
Yep. So this value is a little lighter in this design here. I'm making it darker because I need to alter the background color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't really care, but I do care about getting the value next to it in the background correct. So the value here is, I'm using Yellow Lake Deep Extra by Michael Harding for this. I'm just adding that, and that looks better to me value-wise. So even though you're painting a pattern, there's 2 things you could do. If you make a mistake, just paint over it or just get rid of it.
right,
You
right,
could do that. You could do that too. Just get rid of it. Easy peasy, right? It's
right.
oil. It won't bite. It's oil. So don't be afraid if you make a mistake. It's nothing. Um,
So, is this a model you know? Is this
yeah,
someone?
she's a really good friend of mine. She's an unbelievable singer. Singer-songwriter. She writes music. Her name is Pam McCoy. I'm very good friends with a lot of, my background was dance and acting before I got into art. So I have a lot of friends in theater that are musicians, dancers, and I use them as models. Like I call them and I say, you got to do me a favor. Can you model for me? They always want to model for me. And I'll want to pay them, and they won't take money. So I always give them a print of the painting,
Uh-huh.
or um, if they want to buy the painting, I usually give them a good deal on it. If I don't sell the painting, and it's really hard to sell a painting of a female musician down here. People are kind of looking, and especially, I hate to say this, if they're in a certain age group, you know, it's a hard sell. You know, if you're in a gallery, if you're not in a gallery and you want to go into a museum or you want to go into a regular show, you know, that's a totally different story. You know, it's a different type of client that will come in. They may not buy it. Maybe the museum will put you in there. But, you know, I paint them. I do shows with them. And then uh, after the show, if the painting doesn't sell, I keep it, you know, and maybe I go into like this retrospective of all these women musicians. It's a good thing I have the paintings on
Right.
hand.
Right.
I have a paint rack downstairs. I mean, you know, sometimes you want to have that. I'm going to block this in one value. Here's a way to do this, what I was talking about before. I blocked it in one value, and now I can come in.
Well, this is interesting for the viewers to see because you know, it's beautiful what you're doing. And I hope the viewers understand, like you said, you can do it two different ways, but the way you're doing it, you're really concentrating. And I think it's important for them to know, you know, take your time, concentrate on an area to get what you're trying to say about the pattern on on her sweater.
Yeah, I mean, I love painting jewelry. I like painting details. I'm a detail-oriented kid. I always was.
Well, if you get on Nancy's website, you will see all these um, uh, portraits that she has done. Besides her landscape work, she's very well versed in all of it. But you can see on her website it's, some of this work that she is doing, and it's phenomenal.
Thanks, Cindy.
And I can only see the time and the study that you have put into doing each one of those.
Yeah, it's, for the solo show, I had so much stuff going on. Just, I need to shut up.
It's all right. How about you paint? And as we're watching you, I need to mention a few things and just paint while I talk. Is that
Sure.
okay? And so people will get a little bit of everything. I wanted to let everybody know that today's prize, it's Eric's marketing book. To get a chance to win, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. And I have this book, I get the book, or win the book. And the last show winner is Matthew McVicker from Sudbury, Mass. Yay, for another one from New England. You won a pair of value specs. And just remember, you can email the email's on the screen there and to claim your prize. So congratulations, Matthew. And we have a gift for today. Download our free ebook, 97 Incredible Art Secrets. Go to 97artsecrets.com/free. And don't forget to subscribe. So I'm back. You can keep painting, and I'll do a little talking for you. And I understand how that goes. And I also love the way you handled that background. That is nice. Now, will you go back? Sorry, I'm going to make you answer this. Will you go back into the background, or is that something you're pretty?
Oh yeah, no, that's you know, I changed my mind a couple of times with this background. So I went in with a palette knife and I wiped it out. So sometimes I do a study, you know, and I use Photoshop a lot. You know, some people are like totally against that, and I'm like, well, you know, if the illustrators like Rockwell was alive, he'd be doing that too. Just, it's a lot faster to do it that way. But in the end, you do have to hold the painting and the drawing together, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. Can I paint from life? Yeah, I think so. Because I wouldn't be able to paint the way I do and understand a lot of things if I didn't have that training to begin with. So, as you can see, I can draw. I studied, at Grand Central at night with Ted Minoff and Travis Schlatt, John Frederick Murray, and Marvin Mallison were my teachers, my BFA. But my favorite two teachers, I have to say, was Dan Thompson, who taught a lot of structural drawing, and I'm very into the structure of everything, and Michael Grimaldi.
Okay.
Just
So
absolutely.
Nancy, can you move to the side just a little bit so the viewers can see? But no, stay if you can pay, that would be perfect. I know it's hard. I don't think
I tend to drift.
it's all right.
Okay, I'm using a round brush here because this brush in particular, it's a number 2, and it's series 33. It has a pointy tip. And why is because this is almost like a curving stripe. I could go in with a flat, but I kind of ran out of the very thin flats. I probably would have used that because I can get to it a lot faster. But this is what it is, folks.
Nancy, everybody can understand how much work you put into this. This is it's great for viewers to know, I mean, especially when they love your work, how much time and precision you do put into it. And that's important.
It takes a long time. I mean, I'm told I'm a fast painter, but it's because I work out the idea. Like I do my sketch. I have to get to know the model, even though it's not a portrait commission. I still want to get a likeness. Sometimes I'll change the face because I want a certain attitude to it. This goes there. All right, this one's a little. Boy, I would have to pick this one. Huh.
Actually, it's still good for the viewers to see because you've got complicated patterns there.
Yeah.
And take your time, get it the way you want it, and like you said in the beginning, you could do this several different ways, but you're showing the viewer what you are, how to do this, and the time that you are taking in with all the brush strokes and the different brushes you're using. That stylus was amazing. I may have to go get me one. So
Painted ode to a flower shop. Sometimes my reference here, what I do is when I print it out, I have to remember like left, right, how far down I went. I write all the numbers down as I'm printing.
yes.
Because Photoshop now does not have tiling the image, which is how I started. It would automatically tile your image. So if this is 20 by 30, which this is, it would tile it. It
Right.
doesn't do that anymore.
Okay, you might want to, if you can paint, a little sideways so the viewer can see what you're doing as you're painting. I know it's it's so hard. But that is beautiful.
A little bit. It's hard to look there and then come over here.
Yeah.
So I keep doing that to see what I'm painting. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no, you're good.
You can see now?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We're good.
All right. So here's another thing I do. So let's say as I'm painting this, maybe the tone of the value isn't absolutely on the money. You can go in and just paint over it with a lighter value, or you could come back and leave it like that. Think like a color wash or
Mm-hmm.
color wash. See, like that's lifting up. That's what I love about smooth canvas. It'll lift up. Now, some people won't like that, but this is the way I paint. So for me, I love when it does that because if I make a mistake, I can get out of it.
Right, right. And so once again, it's just another, it's your preference, and it's good for the viewers and everybody watching to know what your preference is, because we all have our likes and what works for us.
That's right.
So that was great info that you gave them.
Well, this canvas, by the way, the number 3 is really the L600. Richard Schmidt used this canvas. That's how I found out about it. And the reason being is if you have to wipe down the canvas to the white, it will do that.
Right.
The bad thing is don't go over it if you don't want that to happen. That's the bad news. But I'll let this dry, and I have the pattern painted in. And if I need to adjust, let's say, the background that's ghosted, paint back in, I will do it before it dries the end of the day, and it's a smoother canvas so it doesn't dry as fast. Or I wait for not the next day, but I'll let it set up, and then I come in, and now I have it there. So I do it like boom, 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 next to each other like that, which I like to do. Let's move back here. This has a darker value. Okay, sorry guys. I need to find my way there. Okay, so this is here. So I'm basically, I could barely see that drawing under there. It's so light. I don't make such a big drawing of the pattern. I try to find my way and just put where the big landmarks are. That's another thing I do. So I got this one done, and what needs to happen here is some of the lighter greens will separate it so that you can see the folds. So like say right here, I'm going to go in and start doing that right over the darker paint, putting the light over a dark.
So say do you normally work where you would let this one dry for a few days and then go back in, or
yep. Or even a week, like I move on. So you can see like I go back to front, so I have to get the background in and get the value and the color that I want.
Right.
So the original reference has the basic color of this, and I changed it. Now I might put all that detail in, but maybe not because of the outfit. A lot of times what you see in a photo or in a color study, when it's small, it looks great. And then when you put it big, you go, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Work.
Right.
So
right.
I do that a lot, and I like to be in the moment. I don't like things so planned with a million color studies. I'm like, no, I can't do that because I'm impetuous. I like to be, that's just my temperament. Paint your temperament. Don't try to be something you're not. If that's who you are, then just go for it,
Another good advice.
As I'm going, to get some of what I had underneath, and I paint thin purposely just in case I need to change it or adjust it.
Right.
It's not over till it's over. So this is a palette knife, and then a brave roller to get that look. That is the general design and the feeling I like. It doesn't have too much detail. I will go back and put these lighter values in, but only when I have enough information there to now put that in. And
okay,
so my eyes pretty.
So is it a good time for you to take a little break and I do some business here, and then you can decide what you're going to show us next? Is this a good time?
Yeah, it's a good time. What I'm going to do is probably put something in here so you could see the different pattern instead of just the green. That will really pop up. So
that would be perfect. Give us a few minutes and we'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, so I want to tell you about Realism Live. For anyone who hasn't yet gone to Streamline, It's a 3-day line conference. And you know what? It's the best place to learn if you're at home and you can't get away. I personally have done it. This is the second one that I'm on the faculty. I did one with watercolors and now I'm doing one with oils. And it's a great way to learn. I mean, there's 20 plus artists that are going to give you their expertise and what to look forward to. You can ask questions. I highly recommend it. And if you go and sign up and you put code Baron, it will give you 10% off. So a lot of information. It's great. It's I can't say enough good things about it. You meet new friends. You connect with other artists. You can network. It's a wonderful place to grow your artist family, and it's good. The lineup this year is phenomenal. I, for one, will be watching a whole lot of the artists on there. So I hope you join us. It's a great learning tool, and something that Erica and his team has worked so hard on to bring this to you in the right way that will give you the most information and the most education for your career. So tune in that. It's it's November 9th to November 11th of this year. And it's one of the top realism shows you're going to see. It, like I said, there's many artists to choose from. And they also have an essential day, which is November 8th for those new to Realism Live. So you don't feel like you're out there and going, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Tune in on November 8th for that. And then November 9th through November 11th, you're going to have a lot of artists to learn from and to grow. So think about that. And it's Realism Live coming up in another week, I think it is. We are now in November, week and a half. So tune in. I think you will enjoy it. Hi, I'm back, and thanks for watching that video. Now let's go back to Nanci, and I think she has about 10 minutes left, and we'll see what she's going to do. Hi, Nanci, we're back.
Hi.
Okay, so tell us what you're doing.
I'm moving into this area. Instead of completing this whole pattern here, here's something that I usually do. I start out and I start moving across the form. The reason why I don't do it vertically. The reason why I do that is I have enough value and color. I have this pattern down. This is a simple pattern. I could go in and wipe it out to get the little circles that have the lighter green in there, no biggie, because the paint's still wet. I could get the lighter value in this little knob over here. I don't really need to put, the leopard, and I don't need to fall down here. What I do need to do is get this in. The reason being is you want to see the color, the temperature, and the value next to the green. Because once I get this in, that can change.
Great advice.
All of you that are painters and experienced, you know that you never put down a color on a white background thinking you have it. Now, for me, like my forte is color, and I usually can nail the value. Just since I was a kid, I can just do that. So thank you, God.
But it also knows how to relate
against white, it could look different,
Right.
that looks very dark, but once I put the darks in, it could look light. So I'm, from experience, I'm saying, yeah, it's going to be about that. And I want to see next to each other what that looks like. So far, it all might change. And that's why I always put the background in first, the hair next, the skin color in next, and starting from the shadow side. Stay simple. You notice there's not a lot of detail. It's just blocked in. That's it. Simple. I don't have all the nuances and details and the aging of the face and none of that yet. Not that I'm going to age her too much; she'll have a heart attack. But
yeah, no,
that's
kidding, another thing. Yeah, with portrait drawing, it's knowing when to stop with all of that. Yes.
Yeah, you have to, I'm not into hard edge wrinkles and putting every single wrinkle in. If you ask anybody, any woman that's 80 or 75, I've painted them, they say, you're not going to put my neck in, are you? You're not. I said, well, we have to show your age, but I could tone it down. And that's what you have to do. So you keep it simple and then you go back in. Keep the pattern simple. Notice I'm keeping it simple. But now I need to get this in. If I don't get this in, we have how much left? 10 minutes?
About 10 minutes.
I'm going to try to get this whole thing in so you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And this one, I'm doing piece by piece because I have to do it that way. This one. All right. So here I go. I'm not going to talk too much.
Okay. And this will help the viewers. I'll help you out a little bit. This will help the viewers to see how each color relates to the other.
Yep. So there's some flesh colors I need to put in here. I'm not doing that right now.
Okay.
I don't need that. I can put that in later. No biggie.
And if you can stand aside a little bit. Yeah, if you could stand a little bit side so we can see what you're painting. Perfect. Thank you.
Boy, this is like working out.
Yeah, I know. But it's great for the viewers to understand your thought process because it's you put a lot of time figuring out how you're going to paint this, what you're going to do. And so it's good for the viewers to understand what you go through to get your ending results.
A lot. I always find the hardest thing is, the face, getting that right.
Because you want the likeness, and yes.
You want to get the likeness, but you also, you want to get your values working really well. This is the same thing, if I don't nail the value in this, I won't get it to look right. Okay, so here's an instance of a stylus. So you can see it in action. So I have this color, this stripe that comes down is this color.
Uh-huh.
Next to the blue mix is that color. It's a little darker. value. Just a little. That other value I need to make darker so I can see it. Yep, that's the right value. Okay.
Once again, for all the viewers, if you go on to Nancy's website, you will see all these works that she has done. And you can see how much time and the process she's put into each one of those paintings. So they're gorgeous.
So some of these colors I have mixed, I'm going in between them because I see one of one color, one of another color, and I know if I mix them together, they'll be bright. But I don't know until I get that dark background in. Okay. I'm going to make a really bold statement here.
You also paint like I do, and my left hand is like a dozen paintbrushes. And then by the time you've painted for a while, your fingers are cramped. But I do the same things. In the left hand, I've got a dozen paintbrushes, and then the other one doing its job.
Well, I don't know how good of an idea that is. I'll tell you one thing. I'm developing in both thumbs and wrists from doing that and holding things for hours like that, where my thumb, when I try to open things now, it hurts. And they say I have like arthritis in both my thumbs. And I'm like, well, that's not stopping me.
Right.
It comes with the job. You know, so lately I've been putting them down for the demo. You know, I haven't, but a lot of times we're not aware when we're painting. We're so in, I don't know about any of you, but I'm so in it that, you know, your posture, all of that. But what we go through with our bodies is, forget it. I'm stepping out for a minute. And these new favorite brushes of mine, the Eclipse Domed Filbert. This is really awesome. I love this brush. Okay,
I can already see the pattern coming related to what, you know, the green sweater that was on top. I can already see that pattern coming through.
Yeah.
That you're painting on.
You know, once I get this in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that this is right. Let's go. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay.
I know I've said this a couple times, but the viewers need to know how much work she puts into creating her paintings. And you're just getting a little snippet of it. It's she has very well thought this out, and I would love to see the ending of one of this, and you might have to post that later at another time when you finish it.
Well, you know, I would love to continue this one, but I have a little mishap happen on it. I may have to start over.
On this one? In this particular one?
Yeah, there's 3 air bubbles. I don't know if if you have linen attached to, mounted to dye bond, which I have, the gallery that I deal with, they always do a good job. I don't know what they were doing this time around, but I've had to take a syringe with a needle and pop a little hole in it and shoot glue through it. If you ever want to know how to do that, DM
All right,
me.
I've been able to, it happened once on a painting of mine. I was able to get the whole canvas off the gator board and then, you know, of course, wait for everything to be dried and then re-glued it down. And yeah, it does happen. I don't know if it's from humidity or just, you know, a manufacturing flaw, but it does happen.
Huh. Well, I never had a problem with this gallery before, but this time around, it's been a nightmare. I have these air bubbles and they hot press it down. Think like beaver
Right.
film, but they didn't use beaver film. They used something different. I need to lighten up this value. All right. So you think it looks light on your and chromatic enough, and it's not. Here's an
And I
insertion.
also think, getting back to that, the canvas things, I think things got into short demand, like supplies, with glues and stuff like that. So they had to come up with, they had to go find other things to replace it. I have found that out. A person that was doing all my canvases decided he wasn't going to do it anymore. But I did find somebody else, and you know what? It's the same, or actually better. So, I think things, over the course, I hate to bring this word back up, COVID, I think supply chains have, ran out of products. So that might be another problem why it's happening, because they're using different products now.
I don't know about that, because the year before, in 2021, this was just done, I think this was done the end of 2022. 2021, all of them came out perfect. I think that maybe the humidity or whatever, because the others came out really great, but I'm almost afraid to glue this back down, put the books on it. I don't know. I have a lot of work done on this already, so I hate
Oh,
to
I
can't.
know. No. All right. So tell us, you got a couple of minutes. Tell us, or if you want to say something within the next couple of minutes, or make a brush, show us a color or something. But you got about 2 minutes left. And what else would you like the viewers to know?
Um, what else would I like the viewers to know? I think that okay. Here's the thing. So when you're painting the pattern, sometimes if the drawing does go off, you can sometimes change the drawing and make it work to your advantage. Like say here, if I have a stripe and I kind of messed it up, you have two choices. You can wipe it out and make it exact. I hate to do that. I am not a copier. I hate making anything exact. Um,
Right.
so you have to be able to say, you know what, I thought that worked, but maybe not. Like right now, there's a color that I have. Um, it's like a green gray, and it's not working because when I mix this, I forgot to add this kind of blue color. So now I have to go back in and go over it. Don't be afraid to go over it, because if it's a neutralized color, and you put a color over a color that's in the ballpark of it, it'll work out. So over the green gray, I'm putting a blue. I'm not making it too neutral because it's already neutral. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't want to, if you have something that gets muddy because your drawing goes off and it gets too gray, don't worry about it, because you can put a color over it if it's dry. If it's wet, you could just take a Q-tip and wipe it out. They have painting Q-tips, you could do that. And a lot of times I'll do that, or I get my eraser tool, right? This guy.
Oh, gosh, yes. I've got
Say,
many
yeah,
sizes
I
of them.
can say,
Love
oh,
them.
I need to make that a little bit lighter, or I kind of lost my way in my drawing. Look, it just lifted it up.
Right. And the
I
thing
think
is,
that,
the tone you have underneath that is beautiful anyway.
yeah,
So it just adds. So, Nanci,
yep.
this has been fun, and I want to wish you the best of luck for your show.
Okay.
I wish I was in the area. Oh my gosh, I would definitely come. I wish I was in the area.
Where
But
are you?
well, right now I'm out in California. I live in Rhode Island. If I was in Rhode Island, I'd take the train in. But I'm out in California right now, so it's not
Oh,
going to work. But I wish you the best of luck, and
thank
Thank you for joining Eric's show. But thank you very
I
much.
love Eric. He's great.
He's
And
great.
everybody
And
go see Realism Live. I'm doing a demo of the
absolutely.
imaginative portrait.
Nancy's on the faculty. I'm on the faculty along with 20 other artists. You can't go wrong. I mean, you're going to learn so much. And look what we learned from Nancy today. We learned how much she puts into her work, some techniques, and she puts a lot of time and a lot of patience. But she's doing what she loves. So if you visit her website, you will definitely see her work. So this has been a lot of.
France-Vaz.com.
Say that again, because I was talking. Go ahead.
www.nancifrancevaz.com. Realism Live, November 9th through the 11th. The 10th is the day I'll be doing my demo on the imaginative portrait with another singer-songwriter with an abstract background and a realistic figure. So I go over from the head, the hair, the background to the finish. I start with an underpainting. So I hope you'll join me for that. The link is in my bio on Instagram, or DM me on Instagram. Follow me.
Absolutely, I am. And it was so good to meet you. So I wish you the best of luck. I'm happy for you.
Okay, see you soon. Bye.
So everybody, thanks for tuning in today. And we'll find out where Eric is. Like I said, he's on one memorable art trip. And we'll find out soon. Hopefully with the next show, you'll find out where in the heck or where in the world is Eric. So thanks for joining me today. I enjoyed it. And tomorrow I have another artist, and Diane Pinelli Miller. You are going to love her. She's a phenomenal plein air painter, and she's got something really fun to show us tomorrow. So tune in, and thanks for today.